And I've spent a lot of time really digesting some of what's been posted on social media. And so I wanted to go through because there's a lot of different types of content that shows you different ways of digital marketing, affiliate marketing, how to make money online, and how to create more videos ultimately to go viral and use that one viral video to go make a bunch of money online. And so, what I wanted to really do is actually dissect some of these videos. And I wanted to get some people's general feedback, get comments, questions, thoughts of what I'm actually doing because what I did is I pulled Instagram Reels to start out with. And I want to actually just kind of break down and give some practical advice because not all of it is wrong, right? I mean, some of it is definitely right and wrong. Some of it can be a little bit misleading, but there's obviously a lot of people who are growing big social media followings by saying, if you do these three individual steps, this is how you're going to go make a bunch of money online. They go viral and then they sell you their $7 course or whatever it might be to actually do that, right? And so a couple things that I wanted to do is actually just break it down, go through it, and of course, just highlight some of these actual videos. And I went through and I actually saved, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 of them. Based on what people are thinking or saying, I might do them. I might do all of them. I might just do some of them. But ultimately, what I want to do is create each video that I'm going to do, maybe break them down, create them into short so people can digest them piece by piece. But this is going to be my long form version of it. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to start sharing, get some feedback. Let me know if you're able to hear the video. So I'm going to start sharing it right now. Let me start with this one. So I think I have to share a specific tab in order for you to get this sound on it, which is fine. So let me know if you're able to see that. Okay. So in here, this one's gone pretty viral. It probably made over I don't know, it's probably gotten over at least 1.5 million views. And so the first thing that I don't like about this is that you're going to make $150 an hour using Google, right? And so normally from my perspective, and I'll go through and I'll play this, but the first thing I'm going to say I don't like out the gate about this is that they're using Google's brand ultimately to say Google's going to pay you $150 an hour and here's how. And so let me just kind of run through it and let me kind of dissect it from there.
Oh, Google will pay you $150 an hour to work from home from your phone, and it's completely free to sign up and to learn how. Let me
Okay, so the first thing she said is that Google will pay you $150 an hour. Everything that she's about to go and do after this, not correct, but I will
show you all the steps. First, you're going to go to Google and type in Skillshop and click on the first link. Then you're going to scroll down and click on Google Ads. Then click on Google Ad Certifications, and that's where you'll see the list of Google Ad certifications that you can take. They're beginner friendly, completely free to take, and they take on average a couple hours to complete. Once you've completed all the certifications, you're going to go to Upwork.com. This is where you're going to charge for your Google Ad services. This person charges $40 an hour and has earned $100,000. This person charges $80 an hour and has earned over $200,000. This person charges $95 an hour and has earned more than $2 million. This is just one of the ways that you can make money online for free. Make sure to follow for more money-making tips.
Okay. So on the surface, that makes sense, right? Like you would be able to go, Google can give you training on how to go use their platform and they'll give you some sort of like certification around it. Makes sense. The thing that's not totally transparent is that there's kind of a couple different parts to this. The first part is that yes, Google's going to train you. The second part is that you have to take those certifications and then you can advertise that on freelancer sites like Upwork. That makes sense. The problem is with Upwork, what she's not showing you is that when people, and I hire people on Upwork, we have, an agency that we also promote on Upwork. So one of the things about that is that when some jobs that you're bidding for, there's maybe 20 other people, 50 people, 100 plus people that are all applying for the same job. So that is a pay to play. That is not like free. That's not free by any means, right? So you have to go pay for people to actually see your posts. You have to send out X number of proposals per day. Maybe you get an interview, but really dialing in the process of handling objections, sending out the proposal, going through the sales call process. This could take a very, very long time ultimately to generate your first dollar through that process. And so again, not something that I would say is easy $150 overnight process. And then there's also a lot of kind of the hacks around what else do you need to do as far as getting your profile to be seen, going through the verification process. I mean, there's a lot of other things and a lot of other loopholes that you kind of have to jump through ultimately to get your first client. And the most important part about this is that you actually have to know how to generate an ROI and results, right? If someone's going to hire you, you're competing against a bunch of other people who have already done this successfully for years. So for you to say, yeah, I have a certification, Google gave me a certification, and I'm going to go manage 10,000 or 5,000 or $1,000 a month in ads, and you're going to get a positive return, they're going to ask, well, okay, how many times have you done this before? Show me some other case studies. Show me some other successes. Have you worked with companies within my industry and my niche? So again, not as transparent, not as simple. You have to actually build that muscle, build the skill. And if you continue to provide results, then that's something where you can say, okay, I produced results. I've got the case studies. Now you can go do it. But you've got to kind of start a lot smaller. Going from zero to charging $150 an hour, very unlikely. So that's the first one I'm going to, I hopefully debunked and answered your questions around that. So the following ones, let me unshare here. See if my process around kind of dialing this in. So I have to go to more of the saved. Here we go. So the saved ones, and then I have to work backwards from there. Got it. So yeah, I mean, in the comments, please let me know if you're finding this valuable, if you think it's actually a good resource for you to go use this to kind of grow your business. So the next one, this is Neil Patel. I personally love Neil Patel. Everything that I've been following Neil Patel since I got started. He gives you very practical, broken down advice. I actually want to give you an example of what he's talking about because he's very good at giving you insights and updates of what's happening, taking what he's talking about and actually plugging it in to your business to really understand what to do next and how that's going to work. That's the next step. And I would like to kind of take it a step further. So I'll go and reshare this with you here. Got to choose the tab again. All right. Cool. So break this down.
Into the AI game. And creating search ads is just about to get so much easier. They recently announced new AI tools that will help you create search ads faster. These are the new features. Number one, Google's helping you with creative assets from AI, and you can end up leveraging them in the campaign level setting. Google will also help you generate ads based on the context of the ads.
So here's what he's saying, and I guess I'll go through and actually go into an ad account to show you what he's talking about. So what he's basically saying here is that when you're creating search ads, so if you're promoting a product or a service and you're able to say, listen, like I'm going to create an ad, I'm going to go sell water bottles. So you've got the campaigns and you have the individual ad groups. And so the campaigns is, if you're going to sell water bottles, you want to sell pink, blue, purple, custom water bottles. All those different water bottles would go maybe under the same campaign. You have different ad groups. Maybe you have one ad group for pink, one ad group for purple. And so that's how you would actually categorize and break it down. And then what Neil is saying is that AI is going to actually help streamline this based on the data that it's already pulling from Google to help simplify the process of creating your own ads.
They'll also help you generate landing page material. 2, a new customer acquisition goal powered by smart bidding and first-party data. This is going to allow you to get a better ROI from your paid ads. Now, if you just want us to do all this for you, check out our ad agency and
maybe you could use ours too, right? Maybe you can use our ad agency. So the whole idea here of what he said as far as using the first party data. So with paid advertisers, you have so there's like first party and third party data. So when you're dealing with YouTube, dealing with Facebook, they buy and sell a lot of that information. So Google and Facebook, they know your income levels, they know where you live, they know if you have a mortgage because they're selling all that data. With Google, the first party data basically is saying that I've searched for the fact that I'm looking for an ad agency and I want help with Facebook ads because I'm searching on YouTube. Facebook ad tips, or I'm searching on Google Facebook ad agencies or Facebook ad managers, right? And so the whole idea there is that you're plugging in your data, your search information directly into their platform, so that qualifies as first party data versus Google buying. If I just bought a house and I have a mortgage, then versus Google buying that information from a third party source and using that to help actually advertise. So that's kind of using AI for the first party data there. So hopefully that's clear. As far as how you can actually go and implement that into your business. So if you're going to go through and actually create a new campaign, so I'll go through and actually go do this for you right now. So if you're going to go in Google, you want to create your first campaign. I'll just do this right here. So I go into Google, I click on create a new campaign. Okay. So when actually, I'm going to bring this down so you can see it a little bit better. So on here, let's say I want to generate more sales. Right now, I've got my call to actions in here, whether it's purchase, book appointments, or get more signups. So let's say you have all of that ready to go. And then he mentioned search campaign. So when people go on Google and they're specifically searching for whatever that goal might be. So if you're trying to get website visits, let's say we can just talk about jetwebinar.com. So then I'll go to continue. Okay. So I'm going to start new. So now what this is basically doing is that this is optimizing for conversions. Just as a side note, when you are doing paid ads, go for either generating leads or conversions, right? So conversions could be collecting someone's email or selling something. That's really what all these platforms are going to be focused on. And that's how AI is really optimizing it, is just getting as many of those conversions as humanly possible. So on here, I typically like to do US and Canada, English based. So on here, what Neil is saying is that if you're going to do marketing, you can do broad match keywords, right? So basically the smart bidding is how AI is really like optimizing to get those broad keywords. And he's going to have another video talking about that in a minute, but you would click on, right? Because then what I would actually do is create two separate campaigns, do one with off, so you can use your own keywords, and then you can do one with on, with your keywords, where Google's actually doing its research for you. So you can kind of split test and see which one is working better. And then right here, it says automatically created assets. So you click on right here, you turn that on. And then from there, I think if you just do add more settings, that's pretty much everything there. So now once I do that, this automatically did all the research on my company, Jet Webinar, and soon going to be rebranded. I'll talk to you about that. It's going to be called Jet Logic for webinar, meeting, and actually marketing solutions to help promote your businesses online as far as generating more leads and more sales. And so what it did here is it automatically took the keywords after reviewing Jet Webinar, and it created all its own keywords. So I didn't have to do any of that research. Then what it did is it took it a step further, and it actually created its own ads. So it created its own headlines. It created its own sub headlines. Soon it's going to be able to take its own images. And so it actually did all of that work for me out the gate already, which is obviously, an amazing feature to have, because that's going to simplify the process. It'll allow you to work a lot more quickly. The thing that is not like amazing about it is that it's not fully optimized, right? So if I were to go back here, it's not going to actually show you, it's saying the ad strength is poor, right? So you need more headlines, you need more popular keywords. So obviously, it's in the very beginning learning phases of all this, but a great tool, a great resource to have on that side. So I will start out with another one. This is actually a very cool one. I personally like this. I think this is a really great idea. This is combining the whole idea of taking testimonial. It's kind of combining like testimonial videos and paid advertising together without connecting the testimonials directly to your brand. And so I think this is definitely a really interesting approach. So I will go here, reshare this.
Directly from the brand's Facebook page. So what we like to do, this is a little gray hat, but it's okay. So like you'll create a page that has a picture of a woman and like a background of a woman, and then you're gonna find a UGC creator. I don't know if you've ever heard of Lumen Skin, but something Lumen Skin does very well. So they're selling men's skincare, right? Something that they do very well is they basically get ads of really pretty girls to basically make with their significant others saying, oh my gosh, like you look so much better after using this skincare brand. You're gonna run it from a page that doesn't say your brand's name. You can do that on TikTok and Facebook as well, and you're gonna see a higher click-through rate because it doesn't look like an ad. It looks like an organic like piece of content basically.
I think that's pretty cool. I don't know how long they're gonna allow you to do that for, but the whole idea is saying like I'm taking a bunch of social proof, I'm taking a bunch of case studies, I'm taking a bunch of testimonials, and you're gonna have a bunch of other people talk about your business without that business being without that advertisement or video being marketed under your company brand. So you have maybe like a sub segment of 8 brands or 10 brands that are all redirecting to the main product, the main business, the main website. I think that's a very cool kind of social hack, I guess you can call it, ultimately to help get more exposure that way. I'm going to go on to the next one. All right.
The big mistake that these companies make is they all spend a lot on paid ads. They don't have upsells, downsells, multiple products to sell people. They don't optimize for conversions, the copy, the sequences. And when you do that, when you generate much more revenue from each click or each dollar spent, you can now start spending more dollars and scale up faster. The big mistake that these companies
Yeah, so I couldn't agree more with this, right? So the whole idea is that if you're creating if you have like a marketing campaign, right? And so the whole idea, but with marketing campaigns, and I talk about this all the time. I integrate this for my clients. The whole idea is that instead of doing a direct ad to doing one offer, and then if they buy that offer, great. If they don't, then you just continue to market to them until they buy that one individual thing. That's pretty short-sighted, right? And so what Neil's saying here is that I kind of create an example. So I guess I'll go back to the water bottle example. For that's not really B2B focused. I like B2B, higher profit margins and all that stuff, but the whole idea is around the simplicity of water bottles without overcomplicating other offers. And I can talk about integrating it for like an ad agency or selling your courses, but this whole model really applies around the same thing. So let's say you've got so the whole idea, I'm going to write it down here. So you're selling a water bottle, right? So the whole idea here is that there's different components to it. You can sell you can sell a single water bottle. You can sell a pack of 3 if you've got friends or you got family. You can include a filter. You can include a subscription if you wanted to like give like the latest water bottle technology, whatever it's going to be, right? So the idea here is that you have an ad, right? So that ad, now I'm writing this down on a whiteboard just so you can kind of conceptualize everything that I'm saying here. So you've got one ad, right? So this ad is going to a product. So the idea here is if you got an ad and it's going to a product, so I'll kind of simplify the whole process. So, and I guess I'm going to have to take down my screen to get it, but let's see how I can actually do that. I'm like in it and it's crushing me. If I turn off the virtual, let's see if I can turn this off. All right. So the idea here is I've got an ad, right? So you've got an ad, and this is backwards. So now I'm gonna have to write this backwards. Give me 1 second. The ad goes to a product. Once someone actually looks at the product, they're gonna say, no, I'm not interested, right? So when they're not interested, you can either offer them something else that is going to be offered at a lower dollar, right? It could be the same product offered at a discount. It can be it could be a different offer at a lower discount. It can be, you can sell someone else's product that's kind of in a relevant or similar space. That's one path, right? If they do buy it, then there's an upsell, right? So you want to do an addition onto the product that they just bought, right? So if it's going to be a course, then you can get access to the community, and you can get access to like talking to someone one-on-one to actually build out or have a done for you system on the actual content that they just bought into, right? And so there could be different ways to kind of play around with that. So the whole idea here is that what you're doing is you're extracting as much value from your individual client or that individual click as possible. And the big companies aren't doing that. The smaller companies, the solopreneurs who aren't raising money and doing all these fancy things, is they are extracting as much value out of each click, because that's what they're doing to kind of bootstrap the business, to reinvest into more marketing, to get more exposure. And that's how you're seeing a lot of people who are making money online who have dialed in their offers to ultimately scale up their operations. Okay. So then you've got, let's just call it more of an offer, right? So if they have this offer, they either bought it, so it's either yes or no. So kind of categorize it into these three things, right? So I think I did it backwards, so hopefully it should work, right? So you've got the ad that goes to the offer. They either bought it or they didn't buy it, right? So if they did buy it, then you're going to offer them something more, right? This is a way to offer them kind of more money, offer them a product that's worth more. If they didn't, then you're going to also sell something else that's a lower dollar amount, right? So without getting too complicated about it, there's the ad that goes to the offer. They bought it. Yes. If they did buy it, then you're going to offer them something that's more money, right? Or that's an add-on or a lower ticket product that helps supplement this offer. If they didn't buy it, right, that's kind of what Neil's saying, is that you would offer something that's a lower dollar amount than what they originally offered. So if it was something that's $47, maybe it'll be half off, or it'd be $19. So there's a couple of different ways to definitely position what you're doing from that perspective. Definitely love the value drops that Neil gives. He gives very practical advice, and he's got great technologies that also help supplement what he's talking about. I'm going to go back to Neil. I think Neil's showing up a lot. He's showing. This is a good one. I like this one.
Many people better than you, honestly, is Facebook ads. How did you get so good with those? Because your return on ad spend is the highest I've ever seen.
Yeah, the average ROAS usually people get is like 2.8. I get like 7.9. The way I launch ads versus agencies try to bundle up as many ads in like 3-4 campaigns. At Tune in Tokyo's account, I have over 100 active campaigns, and they all have like 10 to 20 different ad sets in each campaign, but every budget is $20 to $30. We don't really spend more than $100 per campaign unless it's like absolutely crushing, but that's my secret sauce.
One thing.
So he said a lot of different things between campaigns and ad groups. So it's very similar to like Google, how Google structures what they're doing. So you've got campaigns and then you've got ad groups. Facebook calls it campaigns and ad sets. So the whole idea is, and I can kind of show an example here where, let me see if this will show up for you. This will not show up. So share this tab instead. Actually, here, I can kind of show you an example here. So everything that you're seeing here, these are individual ad sets. You see, it's probably a little bit blurry for you because the screen's a little bit small, but here it says ad set name. Okay. If I go to the top, this says campaign name. So what you have here is you've got different ads, and these different ads have a bunch of different ad sets. So what he's saying is that I don't bundle, you know, four different ads or 5 different or 10 different ads or 20 different ads or whatever it might be into an ad set, because basically what AI is doing, it's kind of convoluting all of that data into one spot. It's spending a lot more money. You're not getting any results, and so you're not able to kind of work with it. So what he's saying is he's got one campaign. So call this like the one webinar campaign, for example. This one webinar campaign will have a bunch of different ad sets. And so these ad sets can all actually be, it could be the same offer, but it's going to have different images. It's going to have a different audience. It could maybe, I'd like to keep as many things consistent as possible. Say you've got, the same, let's say you've got the same creative and you've got the same copy. So the same creative is the same image and the same video, and the same copy is the content that's supporting that each individual ad. But the only difference is that you're testing multiple different audiences. So maybe if you're going for a Facebook group, or if you're going to go for people who have a specific interest, or whatever that's going to be. So you test all of those things, but you keep you have one thing that's a change in one variable that's a change, and then everything else stays consistent. So you spend 10 to 20 per ad set, he's saying, instead of bundling everything into, instead of bundling all these different ads into one different ad set, because there's a layer beyond this. And so, you can see here we've got, anywhere from, $1.37 to $2.50 to help generate a lead. But the idea is, what he's saying is that this is his kind of secret sauce. If you know what you're doing, it should be pretty straightforward as far as that. But that's kind of what he's talking about as far as not bundling everything together, convoluting the data, Facebook spending all of your money. This is just, you have one campaign, you're testing one or two variables across a bunch of different ad sets. You figure out what's working. Once you figure out what's working, then you turn the rough if they're not working, and then you scale up the thing that is working. And then you kind of rinse and repeat when it comes to your online marketing campaigns. And so definitely have different ways to kind of think about that as far as how you're structuring your ads. When you're growing your audience, you're trying to grow your email list, you're trying to sell a product, you're trying to sell your service, you're trying to get more B2B offers and try to get more people on the phone. So a lot of different ways as far as structuring it and kind of giving yourself more exposure online. So that is, I'm going to conclude it now. Would love to get your feedback, see if there's if this adds value to what you're doing, how you're thinking about your marketing, how you're scaling up. Definitely calling out some people when it comes to, the simple way to make money online versus giving the actual reality from someone who's done this, lots of times on repeat over the last 7 going on 8 years now. So leave your comments, in the comment section. Send me a direct message. Let me know what you thought. But would love to get your feedback, and hopefully I can support you and help you grow your business. Well, thanks so much. Have a great